All right, welcome back to my channel, guys. I hope you guys are doing absolutely well. Today is the 26th video of the scheduled 75 days uploading video challenge, and today is 26th January. Today we honor our all the soldiers for their sacrifices they have made, and the air we breathe, right, the free air, is all because of the sacrifices of the our freedom fighters and our borders who is guarding at the border, right? So we take a moment to appreciate and acknowledge all their efforts. May God bless all of them, and yeah, may God keep all of their families and themselves safe, right? So today we will talk about EVs, right? EVs, stands for electronic vehicles, and today how the dimension is changing from manual transmission, that is diesel petrol engine, to the EVs, and also talking about the benefits, right? And also we'll look into the few drawbacks, like what are the disadvantages of having an electronic vehicle, right? And how is it better from the normal traditional vehicle that has diesel or petrol engine, right? So today we will compare both of the advantages as well as disadvantages of the electronic vehicle. So, without wasting any further time, let's continue our video straight away. So, electronic vehicles, guys. Uh, at starting, I'll give you the meaning. What does EVs generally is, right? Electronic vehicles, right? They are vehicles, but they do not operate with petrol or diesel, but through battery, right? Which helps in better quality of air because it does not pollute, right? It does not releases any sort of harmful carbon monoxide or any black gases that we see generally in our old vehicles. For that matter, even every vehicle, petrol, diesel, they emit very bad quality air, right? And as a result, it pollutes the air, right? Therefore, EVs, they reduce the noise pollution because we can see loud exhaust of petrols, right? We can see loud exhaust of super bikes, supercars. But with EV, it reduces the noise pollution, right? And it also enhance the energy security, and in combination with a low carbon emission, as I've said earlier, right? And it also helps great in greenhouse gas effect because, as you all know, it doesn't releases any CFC gases, right? So India is a member of Electronic Vehicles Initiative. It is a multi-governmental policy from dedicated, to accelerating the development of electronic vehicles. The EVs at the rate 30 campaign, launched in 2017, sets a collective aspirational goal for all the electronic vehicles initiative members to have EVs, which contributes at least 30% all vehicles sales by 2030. Although I think it is on a upper hand because even now it's just 2026, right? But we can see a lot of electronic scooties, right, electronic vehicles. So with this pace, I'm sure that we will be able to at least achieve 30% of the whole vehicles in India, if we look at the data and the sales of the EVs. It's going rampantly and rapidly, right? So by 2030, I think we can achieve the 30 percentage of the whole cars, at least 30%, right? And it is a very good shift from manual petrol or diesel to EVs, right? But this shift will have both pros and cons. So firstly, we will understand what are the advantages of having a EV. And for that matter, if you are, looking for any car, right? So what must be your take whether you should purchase a diesel, petrol, or EVs? I hope this video helps you make the right choice. First advantage of having electronic vehicles is it is chargeable, and it need not feel the petrol, or for that matter fuel, right? Because charging can be done at home, right? And the charging facilities can be set up at home, as I've said. And a normal person, right, can also do the charging by themselves. They do not necessarily go to the petrol pump, right? They do not, if we have to go today, suppose today we celebrate and we go out for picnic and all, right? Today, we if we have a, petrol or diesel car, we must make sure that we, refill the fuel full before a day, right? In If you are to go picnic on 26, right, it is necessary that there must be, full tanky, right, on 25th, day before, because a lot of people resides in rural place, right? So, and on top of that, most of the time, right, petrol pump is closed, right? It does not open, at your disposal. It doesn't open anytime, right? In Especially in hills, unlike plains, right? So on that very note, electronic vehicles are chargeable. That too, you can set up the charge at your home, right? Even a normal person can, even a normal person can operate it. So that's the first benefit of having a EV. Second benefit is environmental friendly, as I've said, right? Even you can be a medium to contribute something to the green earth, right? Because India is having many, of its cities worst affected air polluted area. For example, Delhi, right? Meghalaya. So those are the, very detrimental state where there is a lot of bad air quality, right? So on that very note, by, purchasing EV, you will contribute a lot to the green earth and to our mother earth, right? So that's their third advantage is India is a signatory to a major environmental related laws, as I have mentioned, EV's initiative, right? And India is a very part of it. So on that note, globally, right, even though this is not in a, individual level, yet globally you contribute to achieve 30% by 2030. That's there. Now, fourth advantage of having EVs is decrease in maintenance cost, because you need not undergo the maintenance cost, right? As it is not petrol or diesel vehicle, which requires regular servicing. For petrol, you have to go to, servicing. कभी in मोबिल खत्म हो गया, कभी, what's that, gearbox, and then, what are the major problems we face, right? Gearbox हो गया, mobile oil filter, and what else, guys? Do let me know in the comment section if you are into automobiles. Although I'm not very much into it, so I can just recall three, like air filter, mobiles, right? Then what is it? So that regular, क्या बोलते हैं उसको, ला engine oil, typically also service. Guys, do let me know, if you have been into these, service room, what, what are the mandates, right? What are the necessary items you spend your money on, right? So yeah, do let me know, guys. So on that very note, let's come back to the video. So it decreases your maintenance cost because you need not go for regular service, right? That's there. And that was the, advantages of having electronic vehicles. Now we will look into the disadvantages. What are the cons of having EVs, right? So first is it is very expensive. All right, so not every individual can afford it. Specifically, India is a country where there's more than 50 percentage of middle class people. If I have to be specific, lower middle class people. So it is not affordable. It comes very, with cost of arm and leg. So even if you go for a mid-range segment, the EV starts from generally on road to, I think it would cost you 10 lakh, right? It ranges from between maybe 8 lakh ka bhi hoga, but if you want a good car, luxurious, premium segment, then you must have at least a budget of 10 lakhs, right? I might be wrong on this. This is a generic statement. Please don't quote me on that. But your budget must be quite hefty if you want to purchase an electronic vehicle. So first disadvantage is it is not affordable by all. Second is India's infrastructure is lacking. Yet the number of public charging stations are very, very less. Critical mass of electronic vehicles adoption is lacking, right? Because there's very less charging station. There are fewer, almost only 46,000 charging public charging sites. Now I'll tell you why this charging station are very necessary. Because EV comes with the range. All right, in diesel and petrol, what happens is you fill a certain liter of petrol, then per liter mileage you would get is around more than 10. If you are in heavy traffic, bumper to bumper traffic, then minimum you would get 6 7. But in EV there's a certain kilometer sets, right? Once you charge 100%, then again, please don't quote me, but it can be around 500 kilometers. Then on 70% it can be 300 kilometers. So it's like that. So when you are going a mid journey, the battery goes completely dead. All right, so that time public charging station is must, right? You can't return back to your home, you don't have anywhere door, right? So again, in this note, the EVs infrastructure in India is very less. All over India, there is just 46,000 charging station for public. So again, on this note, the diesel and petrol vehicles takes over EVs. Now, third disadvantage is it cannot be repaired by regular mechanics, right? Your Rambaya, right? Your Chacha cannot repair your electronic vehicles. If there's any problem, you must visit the service center, right? That too specifically technical, who are, very technical about it, right? Expert. You need to visit technical expert. And moreover, the battery, right? The battery of EV costs very expensive. If it is damaged, then you must replace with new one, right? So the battery would cost you a lot, right? So again, that's one a big drawback, right, for the EV vehicles. And as I've said, the process is not simple to repair EV. You and I cannot do it, right? So your average mechanic, as I've said, Rambaya, Chacha cannot do it, right? So this is the reason I think most of the Indian families prefer traditional petrol and diesel engine over EV. So that's there. And fourth issue is I've mentioned before that range and distance issue, not available in all brands, and so for a person should compromise because EVs comes with the kilometer range. All right, in one charge maximum it might be able to cover 500 kilometers. Then again, I'm not sure in hills in winters, right, the battery might go down, right? Specifically in the areas with high altitude, it's very cold outside. So on that note, if we do not start the car, if we keep it just like that for a week, then there's high chance, high risk that your battery might go down again. If it is petrol, if it is diesel, then you'd call up your guys from village, and they'll push the vehicle through, and you will start, by hook or crook. We call it Jabka. I don't know what you guys said, but the petrol and diesel engine can be, started with the guys. Where I mean, like you can just shift the gear, and yeah, when there's a friction, you know, I love what I'm saying, but yeah, it happens. It starts, right? Generally, even we do with our bikes, right? So I'm talking about that. Now, in conclusion, what I'd like to say is 13 out of 20 cities in India, 13 out of 20 cities in India with the highest air pollution, all right? 13 cities out of 20 states, 13 out of 20 cities, I'm sorry, it's not states, but 20 cities, all right? But 13 is with the highest air pollution in India. Out of 20, 13 is one of the most highest air polluted cities in India. So the government, economists also suggest that long-term plans and sustainable solution with the vision to, array, I'm sorry, but yeah, for sustainable development and for long-term plans, the EVs are, I think, it would be great if we choose EVs over the traditional car, because the environment and our nature will be on safer hand if we go with the EVs. But with diesel and petrol, it is very hard for cities like Delhi, right? Meghalaya, states like Meghalaya. So, वही है, right? So the government must work on one thing to decrease the cost of the electronic vehicles, right? They must give some leverage, because EVs are our future, I think. Because one day petroleum, all these things, renewable, non-renewable, they get depleted one day, right? And on top of that, it is very harmful for our mother earth, right? It should not be polluted. So let's see, guys, what happens by 2030, right? I'm sure India will achieve the 30 percentage of vehicle out of percent, out of 100%, or 30% electronic vehicles out of the 100% all vehicles in India. So Jain, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. May God bless all of you and all your efforts, and happy Republic Day. Thank you.